Guys, um, don't really know what to say about that one. 24-10, and that's not exactly the game flow that I was expecting from this one. That's not what I was anticipating to see. I really thought that after this game, I would be getting on here making a post game video talking about how the defense is terrible. We got no pressure on Mahomes, or we couldn't stop the run. We gave up 200 yards rushing, or Mahomes set a record for consecutive completions on this defense. So I was expecting all those things, but here I am, honestly thinking to myself, the defense played well enough to win a game. The defense really did play well enough to win this game. And I don't really know how they did it, but they cooked up a little bit of pressure. They cooked up a little bit of pressure on Mahomes. They actually played the run decently, and at the end of the day, you're giving up 24 points in Arrowhead when your offense is giving you no support. When I say no support, I mean we are talking 0 first downs in the first 20 minutes of the game. We are talking 3 meaningful points. And yet, somehow, some way, you find a way to hold the Kansas City Chiefs to 24 points. You gave your team a chance to win. So, unfortunately, and I don't enjoy doing this, although I will say I prefer finding out now, if we are finding out now, than finding out, next year. This offense, I'm wondering about these pieces that I've taken for granted as being good all year. Like I don't know what the play calling was today. I don't know what the quarterback play was today. I don't know what the game plan was today, but it was just a complete mess. And you're playing this game where your defense is in there fighting as hard as they can to give you a chance against this hyper elite offense. And your offense just gives you nothing on any level. The players, well, okay, most of the players, I'm going to say that some guys did their job, but the players didn't do their job. The play calling was a disaster. I don't understand the plan. I don't understand what we were thinking with some of these decisions that we made as a team. And I'm just trying to put it all together in my head, and I don't get it. I don't get it. So confused right now, right? Because that defense that was one of the worst in the league gave you a chance to win, and I didn't expect it, but I have to acknowledge that it happened. Not that it was great, of course. We haven't forced a turnover in what feels like 3 years. No turnovers today. I think we got one sack on Mahomes, but we did get other pressures too. I don't want to dismiss that entirely. And there were a couple plays where the tackling was not good. Like I thought Brooks played a pretty awful game. I thought that some of these defensive linemen just not getting off their blocks. There were problems, of course. There are always going to be problems when you have a defense that is this bad. But somehow, some way, they put together a game plan to at least keep the Chiefs in check. They only gave up the one big play after the game was over. That one big play by Travis Kelce, the 50-yarder. That was the only monster play that your defense gave up. Other than that, you forced the Chiefs to earn everything that they got, and you as a fan, knowing that you have a bottom 5 defense in the NFL right now in terms of points allowed, you have to be willing to take it, even though you don't totally understand how it happened. So I I'm just trying to figure out exactly how we managed it, because I see the two-man fronts. I still see that. I see the mediocre pass rush, at best pass rush. I see the Jordan Brooks having this miserable, awful game, and I'm just trying to piece it all together, and I'm struggling. I really am struggling to figure it out. Exactly how to describe, how to justify what happened out there. But this is in the man's defense. In the man's defense, this is what Carroll typically does. He finds these weird ways to ugly up the game, keep you in it, And at the end of the game, you're looking up at the scoreboard and you're like, I didn't like watching our defense very much today. Really needed to play better. It was, left a lot to be desired, but at the end of the day, they gave you a great chance to win. So I'm just confused right now about that. I'm happy about it. And look, not that this necessarily means anything, but you've got 2 games left. You've got the Jets, who are going to have either Zach Wilson, Treveler, or whatever his name is, and maybe Joe Flacco at quarterback. You're going to get the Rams, one of the worst offenses in the league. So you've got a chance to finish strong on defense here, and we can at least go into this offseason with some degree of confidence. So I guess we have that a little bit. But at the same time, I understand that games in the NFL are a one-off entity. Just because you did well in one game doesn't mean those things are going to go well in the next game. So when I look at a performance like this, I think to myself, you got to find a way to get that win. And this offense did not back anything up. 3 meaningful points. 3 meaningful points. And I'll start with the players. I thought K9 did pretty much everything he could. Ken Walker did his thing. He had 100 yards in this game. Not hating on him. He did what he could behind this miserable interior offensive line that I thought got destroyed today. Honestly, the whole offensive line had problems today, but especially in run blocking, that interior offensive line is just a train wreck. DK, I thought played fine. I know he picked up that holding call, but that was very ticky-tack in my opinion. I thought that DK did his thing. But other than that, I can't... I guess I'll give my roses to Stone Forsythe because he's out there thrown into a bad situation and he's doing the best that he can. But the receivers outside of DK Metcalf, just atrocious. Treadwell with the drops, Goodwin, no catches, no production from Marquise Goodwin. I'm not shocked by it, I guess, but I thought we were going to get at least a little something, especially in a game like this. And it just seems like they can't get open. Tight ends, Parkinson had the big play at the end, but the game was over. I'm not excited about that. I'm not pumping my fist about, Colby Parkinson busted a 40-yarder in garbage time. Let's get pumped about that. No. So the tight ends in a game where we really could have used them, very little production there. Fant had 2 catches when the game was basically over 2. Disley had the 1 meaningful catch, but he's been on a milk carton lately for the most part. So, yeah, the players. And this all leads to the guy who really needs to be talked about right now because he's the guy who's due a contract, Geno Smith. That was one of the worst games he's played this year. And I don't know if he got concussed. He sure looked like it the way he was playing. I don't know if he just got hurt in some other way that was negatively affecting him. So I don't know what to say about it. I still like Geno. I still think there are a lot of extenuating circumstances in this offense. I stand by all of that. But this was an opportunity for Geno to be big time and steal a win, and he was very little time. And this is the kind of game that's going to give a ton of fuel to the Geno haters. The anti-Geno people. And I can't say anything bad about that. I can't say anything about that. All I can say is that, yeah, this was an opportunity for him to prove himself. If he had put the team on his back and not screwed up those third downs, not taken some of those sacks that he didn't need to be taking, executed, then, yeah, we'd probably be having a very different conversation. But today my chat was filled with people who were like, don't pay Geno, don't pay Geno, don't pay Geno. And it's like, yeah, I get it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I get it. Granted, it's better to find out now than find out later. But Geno has a little bit to answer for right now. His defense actually supported him today. He got a little bit of a running game going. It wasn't perfect. I completely sympathize with the fact that he's got very little working at receiver and we lost Abe Lucas in the second half. I sympathize with that. But that doesn't justify some of the terrible decisions. Like, he had the opportunity to run for a first down on 3rd and 6 early in the second half, and he threw the ball to a well-covered Goodwin. Now, maybe Goodwin should catch the ball, but just run the ball. It's freezing cold. It's hard to catch the ball. Receivers are dropping passes left and right on both teams. Just run the ball, Gino. And that being said, I gotta say, Gino got no support from this play calling, this coaching staff, this game plan. After Abe Lucas left the game, it's like we basically gave up on the passing attack. We were just like, okay, can't throw the ball. Let's just run the ball. 3rd and 7, we're running the ball. 2nd and 16, we're running the ball. 1st and 10, 2nd and 15, we're running the ball. Run the ball, run the ball. And I'm not saying the running game was bad today, but it certainly wasn't good enough to justify how much we ran it in that second half. I don't know if we were trying to make a point. I don't know if Gino was hurt and we were just trying to let him not have to throw the ball. But at the same time, I look at it and I go, hey, that last drive where we actually scored the touchdown, and then even the drive after that, now that I think about it, after we got the ball back where we moved the ball a little bit, we were doing stuff through the air. So it's not like Gino couldn't throw the ball. Gino could throw it. So if the only reason why you gave up on the passing attack in much of the second half was because Forsyth was in there, and I know Forsyth playing right tackle is bad, like what happened at the end of the game would indicate that was a mistake. And Stone Forsyth shouldn't be out there anyway. Jake Curhan should be active because you might need that right tackle. You go into a game with no backup right tackle, you're putting a native left tackle at right, and you get what you get, where you just have to completely abandon your game plan. And when you did run the ball, you were running the ball up the middle, which is basically Russian roulette because of our interior OL. So I don't really understand it. I don't understand why you just completely abandoned the passing attack just because you lost your right tackle. And I know that hurt. I know that was unfortunate. You don't want Stone Forsyth out there. I get it. He's going to make mistakes. But again, the running game in this game was Russian roulette. So I'm just trying to figure out what we were thinking with not only running the ball 80% of the time in meaningful snaps in that second half, but what were we thinking running the ball up the middle? And I'm looking at Waldron, like, I've liked Waldron this whole year. I think Waldron's done a great job overall this year. But what was this? This is not a good defense that you're playing. There are things that you can do. I know Gino's not playing well, but if that's how you feel about Gino, get him out of the game and put in Drew Lock. Like, if you have so little confidence in him that you're running the ball on 3rd and 7 and 2nd and 16 and 1st and 15 and you're just completely abandoning the passing attack, then get him out of the game and put in another quarterback. At that point, what's the difference? At least Drew Lock, he can sling it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. We had a fun stream today. I mean, the game, at least it was competitive until there were only a few minutes left. That's all I can really say. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. Thanks to everybody who showed up in the chat. It was fun. Thanks to everybody who watched with me. Thank you to everybody who participates on this channel. But yeah, frustrating day today, and I don't know where to start. And honestly, I have to start questioning a couple guys that I haven't questioned very much this year. Shane Waldron, Geno Smith. I'm not saying I'm done with you guys. I'm not saying I don't like you guys. I'm not saying, get out of here or nothing like that. I'm not on that wagon. But you gotta show me a little something in a game like this against a lackluster defense when your defense is the group that is just showing up. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Had fun today, at least. Made some fun out of it, but we got some more games to watch. I know some of these other games went our way, so we're still breathing, but frustrating result. All right, catch y'all later.